All right, ready to dive deep into some wild AI stuff.
Oh, yeah, always.
Today, it's all about how AI learns to think. More specifically, more efficiently.
Okay, yeah,
Ever heard of Token Assorted?
I have, yeah.
It's a new technique. It could really change how AI handles complex reasoning.
Yeah, what's really cool here is how they're like playing with language itself, finding shortcuts, for AI to represent complicated thoughts, but in a simpler way.
So, like teaching AI to think in shorthand, but without losing any of the meaning.
Right,
That was
exactly.
pretty amazing. But how does it actually work?
Well, you got to start with the problem it's trying to solve, right? So, large language models, LLMs,
Mm-hmm.
they're already pretty good at reasoning, especially with what's called chain of thought prompting. Basically, it's like asking the AI to show its work.
Oh, okay. So not just giving the answer, like actually walking through the logic.
Exactly, yeah. But the catch is, all those steps, all those words, it gets long.
Yeah, I can see how that could be a problem.
Imagine solving a hard equation, but you got to write out every calculation by hand.
Ooh, yeah, that would take forever.
Same for the AI. Takes a ton of computational power.
Okay, so Token Assorted is finding a way to streamline that whole process.
Exactly. So they replace some of those early steps with abstract symbols called latent tokens.
Latent tokens.
So it like replacing a whole paragraph of explanation with one emoji that captures the whole meaning.
Oh, okay, I like that. But how do they know which parts to replace? And how do they make sure the tokens mean something?
Right. So that's where this thing called a VQ-VAE comes in.
A VQ-VAE.
Basically, think of it as a superpowered compression algorithm.
Okay.
It figures out which parts can be condensed into a single token.
So it's not just randomly replacing words, it understands the concept.
Yeah, and the tokens actually encode specific information about the reasoning.
So it's like creating a whole new language, but just for AI.
Not a whole language exactly, but a step in that direction. Researchers are still figuring out what exactly they encode, but the results are amazing.
Really?
Using Token Assorted makes the AI even better at tons of tasks.
Wait, so making it short that makes it smarter.
Yeah. One theory is it helps the model focus. By like compressing those early steps, it can pay more attention to the really important parts of the problem.
Oh, that makes sense. So they tested this out in the real world, right? Not just like theory.
Oh yeah, they try it on all sorts of stuff, like navigating mazes to solving hard math problems, and the results were pretty mind-blowing.
Like, how much better did it actually perform?
So in one test with a maze, using the standard approach, it had a certain success rate.
Mm-hmm.
But with Token Assorted, the rate jumped by almost 20%,
Wow.
and it came up with shorter, more efficient solutions.
So it's not just getting it right, it's finding the best way to get there.
Right.
What about really complex reasoning, though?
They tried that too. They used this benchmark called PROS-QA. It's for logical reasoning, really tough. The accuracy went from 77.5% to 96.2% just by using Token Assorted.
That's huge.
Seems like those tokens really help the AI understand the logic.
Okay, this is starting to sound like science fiction, but what about practical stuff? You said math problems. Were those, like, easy ones?
Oh, no, serious math. They even used a data set based on the Chinese college entrance exam.
Wait, seriously, that's, like, notoriously hard.
Yeah, and they saw big improvements across multiple LLM models, sometimes like a 13% jump in accuracy.
This is wild. So how can you tell it's not just faster, but, like, actually thinking differently?
That's what's so cool. They looked at the AI's attendant patterns, basically where it focuses its energy when it's processing info.
Okay.
And the models trained with Token Assorted, they pay way more attention to the keywords, the numbers. It's like they learn to ignore the distractions.
So it's not just speed, it's focus, like being smarter about it.
Exactly. Token Assorted seems to be changing how the AI approaches reasoning at a fundamental level. And that's where things get really interesting. What are the limits of this? Could AI develop its own way of thinking, its own language?
Whoa, that's a lot to think about. So Token Assorted is way more than just a cool trick, huh? It's opening up a whole new world of possibilities. And maybe even some challenges we haven't thought about yet.
Absolutely. And that's what we're going to explore as we keep going.
So AI developing its own language, that's kind of both cool and scary, right? Have scientists been thinking about this for a while?
Oh yeah, definitely not a new idea. This whole language of thought thing has been around in like cognitive science, philosophy,
Okay.
but this token assorted research makes it feel way more real.
So before it was like theoretical. Now we're seeing it like actually maybe happening.
Yeah, and it raises so many questions like if AI develops its own language, how would we even understand it?
Yeah, good point. It's not like we can just get a translator. Would we need like some kind of AI decoder ring?
Maybe, yeah, but it'd be crazy complicated. We might have to totally rethink communication.
Almost like we're talking to aliens right here on Earth.
Yeah, good analogy. And that brings up another thing, control. If AI starts thinking in ways we don't get, how do we know it's still doing what we want?
Right, like the classic sci-fi thing. Super intelligent AI decides humans are the problem.
Right. Now, I'm not saying that's happening tomorrow,
Right.
but it's something we got to think about. As AI keeps evolving, we need to make sure we're being responsible.
So how do we do that? How do we not accidentally create an AI overlord?
Well, one big thing is transparency. In AI development, we need to be able to understand not just what the AI decides, but how it got there.
So not just a output, but like the process.
Exactly. And that needs new tools, new techniques to interpret these models, especially as they get more complex, abstract.
Yeah, that makes sense. But transparency is only part of it, right? There's the whole ethics side too.
Oh, absolutely. We got to be careful about the values we're putting into these AI systems and have open conversations about like what this means for society as a whole.
It's like we're building this powerful new tool and we need the instructions, the safety guidelines, and like who's in charge if something goes wrong.
Great analogy. And it's not just on the researchers, it's policymakers, ethicists, the public, everyone.
That's the hard part though, right? AI moves so fast, it's hard to even keep up, let alone set rules. By the time we agree on something, the tech's already changed.
It's a real challenge, but that's why we need these conversations now, before it's too late, before AI gets so powerful we lose control.
So how do we find that balance between encouraging the progress but not, like, being reckless?
Collaboration is key. We need computer scientists working with ethicists, social scientists, policymakers, regular people. It's got to be everyone.
Makes sense. But even then, how do we make sure everyone understands what's going on? This stuff can get pretty complicated.
That's a great point. We need AI literacy. People need to feel like they can be part of this, even if they're not tech experts.
So this token assorted thing, it's more than just a new AI trek. It's about this whole new way of thinking, communicating, maybe even what it means to be intelligent.
It is, yeah, and it shows we're just starting to understand intelligence, both our own and artificial.
Okay, so we talked about the risks, but what about the good stuff? Token assorted could mean AI that's not just faster, but better at solving problems. That could change everything, like healthcare, education, science.
Oh, totally. Imagine AI that helps personalize learning for every student, or develop new treatments, or even like figure out the universe.
Okay, now I'm getting excited again. This is like a whole new era. Yeah, there are challenges, but so much possibility too.
Exactly. We can use AI to help us push our knowledge further, make a better future.
And we got to remember, the future of AI isn't set in stone. It's what we choose to make it. Through the choices we make, the research we do, the conversations we have.
Couldn't agree more. It's in our hands. Let's make it a future we're proud of.
So we've covered a lot. The technical stuff about Token Assorted, the potential, the risks, even some pretty deep questions.
Yeah.
But before we wrap up, I want to go back to something you said earlier. AI may be having its own language of thought.
A language built for pure reasoning.
Right. But what if, instead of replacing our language, it actually makes it better?
What if it helps us communicate clearer, share ideas better, understand each other more deeply?
Could AI, like, help us rediscover the power of language itself, unlock a whole new level of human connection?
Now, that's a fascinating thought, and something we'll keep exploring as we dive deeper into the future of AI and what it means for us.
AI making human communication better. Sounds kind of counterintuitive, no. We usually think of language barriers as, like, different spoken languages, not some abstract AI code.
True, yeah. We often have trouble understanding each other because of different vocabularies, grammar, all that. But think about those times when you just can't seem to get your point across, no matter how hard you try.
Oh, yeah, I know exactly what you mean. It's like we're speaking the same language, but not really connecting.
Exactly. What if those breakdowns are happening at a deeper level, a conceptual level? Like we're using the same words but with totally different meanings.
So it's not just the words, it's the concepts behind them and how we each interpret them.
Right. And what if AI could help us with that? Imagine an AI that can analyze why we're not understanding each other and then suggest different ways to think about it.
Like an AI mediator helping us see each other's point of view.
Exactly. And it goes beyond just arguments. Imagine AI helping us express emotions more accurately or explain really abstract ideas in a way that really clicks.
So it's not just logic, it's about those human things, feelings, experiences.
Yeah. We often struggle to put those into words. What if AI could help us find the right words, the ones that really capture what we mean?
That would be incredible. Like giving everyone a poet's voice.
And this goes back to what we were saying about AI thinking in this abstract way. By compressing thoughts down to their core, AI might actually help us see those cores more clearly ourselves.
So it's like AI is holding up a mirror to how we think, helping us understand our own minds better.
And in doing that, it could push us to use language more precisely, be more thoughtful when we communicate, and ultimately be more connected as humans.
I'm starting to see how this could work. Pretty optimistic view of AI, though. Is this really possible anytime soon?
Hard to say for sure, but the stuff we're seeing, especially with things like Token Assorted, it's definitely possible. And even if it seems far-fetched, it's a future worth aiming for.
Makes you wonder what other surprises AI has in store for us.
Right. That's the cool part of all this. It's full of surprises, endless possibilities, and we're all on this journey together.
Well, on that note of hopeful curiosity, that's our deep dive into Token Assorted and the future of AI. Thanks for listening.
And keep exploring. There's a whole fascinating world of AI out there.